my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Ja Morant says he's gonna stop dunking. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, you want somebody to talk about you because nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you if you dunk or you don't dunk. Who cares? We'll talk about that in a minute. Charlemagne the God on The View. Wow. Oh boy. The hypocrisy, man. Didn't this guy rape a girl? And wasn't she underage? Well, I'm just saying, did it happen? And this guy never ever got put off the TV. He's still on TV. He's still on the radio. Wow. Okay. Now I had sex with an underage girl, and it was, they both agreed on it. He supposedly raped her because she was drunk. Okay. And we all know the Lakers got blown out the other day by the Miami Heat. And we'll start right there, folks. I'm not going to take too much stock into it with them getting blown out. The stock I'm going to take into it, is who had these numbers right? Who got these numbers right? And I can tell you guys, since gambling has been legal, it ain't looking right. Sports in general isn't looking right. Whether it's the NBA, the NFL, college football, or college basketball, this stuff ain't looking right, folks. It's you remember when people be like, "Hey man, they let another team win." Da. Before gambling was legal, people would just say, "Oh man, that's a conspiracy, man. You just, they're just trying to get this dude the championship. They just want ratings." Well, it don't look like it's about ratings anymore because the NBA ratings are trash and the NFL ratings are not what they used to be. They're not trash, but they're not what they used to be. What I'm trying to say is a lot of this stuff looks obvious. And I know it's a lot of sleepers out here. That's what the world is based on. And that's how the world really works and how it's run by the sheep being asleep, by the herd not being unique. But we won't get too deep into that. But what I'm trying to say is a 41-point blowout, folks. Who had this right? Who had this right in Vegas? Come on, please. The Miami Heat, if you would have told me, Denver, 41-point blowout. Maybe the Celtics blew the Celtics out by 41, yes. But the Heat? And they're going, if I'm not mistaken, they played in Miami? Some of this stuff is symbolic. And a guy pretty much, LeBron, before the game and after the game, giving these guys much love. So, since when did LeBron James get blown off the floor and start giving guys love? Because I've seen this guy get beat by 6. And he walked off the court with 2 minutes to go. Why is this guy so happy? Why is he so happy to lose? Who's got them numbers? Who had the numbers right in Vegas? You never know, will you? So that's what I look at. I'm not looking at what everybody else is looking at. That's why I said when you come to my channel, whatever the headline news is, get ready basically for everybody to say the same thing. When you come to my channel, that's why it's not monetized, because I break the YouTube rules. I break them. And what's the YouTube rules? You can't be unique. You got to be saying basically what everybody else is saying. That's how you're going to get paid. Now, there are guys out there that, don't follow in line with the rest of the sheep. I'm not going to put the names out there because I don't want to single the rest of the guys out there. I love a lot of channels. They do a lot of great work. And to me, there are, some channels that are different, unique. But for the most part, the rest of these, most of your YouTubers, sports channels, they just fall in line. They just say the same thing that other channels say. But that's neither here nor there. Sports gambling is basically a sickness now. Just like, the regular gambling that's been going on for a long time, it's been a sickness. I have a father that has spent, it seems like hundreds of thousands on sports gambling and, the lotto over the last 50 years. Well, let me say about 40. Say about 40 years. And really, basically won nothing. And to me, it's the worst habit you can have. You take drinking alcohol, maybe smoking some weed, maybe doing any other kind of drug. At least you did get high. At least you did really physically feel something. You got something out of it, right? Maybe somebody's a compulsive shopper. Maybe somebody's a compulsive, eater of junk food or fast food or bad food. At least they really got something physically out of it. These people literally every single day, or just about, because I'm telling you, it's an addiction. I've seen it. Literally give their money away and get nothing out of it. Get absolutely nothing out of it. And there's people out here that really ain't even got the money to spend, and they will spend the money. And when I talk about my father, he could have been giving it to his children, his grandchildren, paying his bills, saving up for this. Nope. Instead, at the end of the day, this guy had to go bankrupt, file for bankruptcy at one time. It's just, I can't bang with it, man. I'm the ultimate, not winner, I'm the ultimate sore loser. I never sports gambled. I won't never do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And now it's starting to look like a lot of stuff starting to be obvious. I did play the lottery and went to the casino before. But that's like me going to the strip club. Yeah, I've been to the strip club, but like once every year or every 3 years. When's the last time I went to the strip club? Oof. I don't know. It's been about four or 5 years. No, hold on. It's been about 3 years. And then before that, I hadn't been for another like 5 years. And before, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that doesn't thrill me. To see these women like that in that type of position. Yes, yes, sexually it does, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not an ugly guy, so I don't have to get women that way. I mean, I just don't feel turned on by that. Look, I'm a sore loser when it comes to gambling. So I'm not with it. I could go to the casino and play one time $20 or $100 and be gone after I lose. And I could have $20,000 in my pocket. I'm not like that. But there's people out here that really think that they're gonna get back at it. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get it next time, man. I was close, man. Remember, if any of this stuff was real gambling, and it was even slightly in your favor, being that there is millions of people that gamble every single day. If it was real and it was in the people's favor, guess what? The gambling sites will be shut down because the gambling sites wouldn't have any money. Somebody once told me and showed me how the lottery really works. The computers are so sophisticated, and that the things that pop up, the balls, at a certain time, you got to have all your numbers in, and they know what numbers are going to win and what numbers are going to lose. So they're able to rip off millions, tens of millions of people every time that the lottery balls go out or pop up and take people's money. And some of these people who win are just crisis actors. They're not even real winners. Folks, what's the odds? Literally. I don't know the number. Millions, tens of millions of people playing the Mega Millions, the lottery, and nobody hitting. That time, the next time, sometimes I done seen it 3 times. It's not possible, folks. Gambling is a sickness. So we'll just move on from that. But I just find it funny that, back in the day, you used to see cats and they used to be like, man, I'm gonna get off of work, I'm gonna smoke something. But they said, I'm gonna drink something. Or they used to get to where I'm gonna smoke something and drink something. Now, dudes eat out for breakfast and lunch at work, smoke something and drink something, and gamble their money away. I promise. I know many guys. I can tell you, probably from the last, even when gambling wasn't legal. I'm talking about, dudes got bookies and stuff. I done seen this for the last 10 years. That's the behavior of some guys now. I done seen it. I done work with many guys like this the last 10 years. And they eat out every day, fast food restaurant, breakfast, lunch, have to smoke when they get off, have to drink when they get off, and gamble every day. I'm like, damn, how do you do it? Like, wow. That's a lot of money right there. Just like, you might well just go to the nearest toilet and flush all that money down the drain. It's crazy. But yeah, the Ja Morant thing, man, who cares about you, bro? Go away, go to sleep, put up some stats, lead the league in something instead of leading the league in carrying guns. And dude, nobody cares about you, dude. I seen this guy in a warm-up line. Dude, you need to get something to eat, man. Get this guy something to eat, man. These guys supposed to be making all hundreds of millions of dollars, and they look like they starving. Look like, they should be on one of them African commercials with flies flying around them, malnutrition. Bro, get some. I don't see how any woman could like a bag of bones. What do you mean you gonna stop dunking because every time you dunk, the rim don't rattle, your damn bones rattle. Dude, you rattle. You gonna rattle them dreadlocks right off your head, man. Get you something to eat, man. As skinny as Pippen was, man, at least the man has some cuts to him. He got a little muscle to him coming into the 90s, man. Pippen was looking respectable. And as skinny as Pippen is these days, back then, and he started to hit the weight room and go down the hole with no regard over these big dudes. Guess what? He still looked like he had some muscle. These guys today, they're either fat or they're anorexic in the NBA. These guys got some bad bodies, man. They got some bad bodies. You just scratch your head like, what is these guys doing? Is these guys smoking up all their money or what? Like, I told you about Kevin Durant, right? This dude is skinnier now than he was at Texas, when he was at OKC, in Oklahoma City. Golden State. Skinnier now. Can you believe that? And he looked drained. He looks tired. He looks scruffy. He looked like he ain't been eating the whole nine. What's wrong with these guys? While LeBron's sitting there, getting big on these skinny three-point shooters. No wonder nobody can stop him. This guy looked like basically a football player playing against high school kids, right? Because we all remember in high school, it's a whole different look. Or maybe sometimes college. Like back in the day. Guys were built different back in the day. Our college players back in the 80s, 90s, they're bigger than the NBA players today. They're bigger than the NBA players today. It's nuts. And do you ever notice this too? The players back in the day, they weren't only bigger, they were more lengthier. Their wingspan was longer. God for God. Not that they don't have long wingspan in this era, neither in the 2020s, but I'm just saying, God for God. It just seemed like dudes had longer wingspans than these dudes. In this era of guys. Yeah, these guys are a joke. Look at Chet Holmgren. Dude fell and busted his what was it, pelvis or something, because he's frail. These guys are frail. Don Williams ain't even skinny and still be getting hurt. Men looking like men? What happened? What happened? I don't know what to say, man. So this guy was in the presser, in the locker room. They was asking about what JJ Redick said, and he just cut off the reporter. I agree with everything he says. Everything he says, I agree with. Well, what about? No, I agree with everything he said. Like, dude, you're trying to be funny. You're a bad actor. Your script has been bad for all these years. And when we talk about script, yes, we're talking about script. A script. And I hear a lot of guys talking about, well, not a lot, but I've heard some guys say, oh, LeBron James' career was a production. Hold on, wait, I got the receipts for that now. I ain't banging on nobody who's saying that, but I got the receipts. I don't know if they said it too a long time ago, but I done said it a long time ago now. I said since he went to Miami, what happened? It was a production. It was no longer a real sports league, the NBA. What? What? Well, you guys got to think. What would you think if Michael Jordan lost to the Pistons in 91, left his home? What Mike gonna do? What Mike gonna do? What Mike gonna do? What Mike gonna do? That's all you hear from the media. Who care about the Pistons? Who care about the Lakers and Magic Johnson and all the other good teams still in the league that's actually winners? And Mike ain't won nothing. And then he leaves his home to go to New York to join up with Ewing, and he brings Barkley with him. And then he announces it on TV on top of that, folks. And the reason why he lost 2 years in a row back-to-back with the number one seed in the East is because he melted down and choked, according to percentages, right? And you can say some averages, but he taunts the whole league, not once. I mean, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six. That's after he announces on TV at a Boys and Girls Club that he's taking his talents to New York. And guess what? Basically, no players have any pushback. No organizations have a pushback. The media really has no pushback. And the league has no pushback. So he gets destroyed in 2 NBA finals. One of them chokes and melts down in the first one. The third one barely wins if it wasn't a shot from, let's say, Charles Barkley from 3. And another one gets blown off the floor by a record margin by the Pistons. And they're worried about what Michael Jordan is going to do next. Well, folks, at that point, Michael Jordan is a loser. He's a loser. He's a coward. He can't carry a team to a championship because he played with other number ones. Charles Barkley is a number one. Ewing is a number one. These guys are number one players of other franchise players of another team. So even when he did win the 2 championships, he didn't carry a team to a championship. He was just another number one that helped carry that team to a championship. And then Mike leaves again, goes back to Chicago because it's some up and coming star with great talent that looks like he's going to be a Hall of Famer that comes into the league. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to bring Shawn Kemp with me. I'm going to bring Shawn Kemp with me. I don't need Scottie Pippen. Trade Scottie Pippen. And then they get murdered 3 out of 4 finals. And still, the media is worried about what Michael Jordan is going to do after that. After 8 seasons, barely winning 3 championships with super teams, and still has never led a team to a championship because Kyrie and Love were number ones of another team. In all of this guy's career since the 2010s, what is he going to do? He's going to lose. He ain't going to give you no statistical titles. He ain't going to win the damn conference, most likely, because he only won the conference 1 time in Miami and 1 time in Cleveland when he went back. Imagine that, folks. Michael Jordan won a conference every season he went to the finals, except for 1 year. So 5 times he won the conference. Go back, I don't know the number. Go back in the 80s and look at how many times the Lakers and the Celtics won the conference. Just about every damn year, especially the Lakers. This dude ain't about it. Let's just say if he had those super teams and he won the conference 3 out of 4 years in each time he was with a super team in Miami and Cleveland, you'll never hear the end of that. You'll never hear the end of that. Man, you know, LeBron, he won wherever he went. He hung a banner, man. And look, he won 3 conference titles in Cleveland and 3 in Miami, man. But he didn't. He couldn't even win the damn conference in a weak East. Imagine that, folks. As weak as the conference was, the East was in the 2000s, and Kobe over there battling in the West. This guy, LeBron, is in the East doing dunks and layups in the 2000s. But once we get to the 2010s, it's a joke. It's a joke. And the West wasn't, it wasn't like the West of the 2000s, but still, even the West in the 2010s was way better. All these guys got to play great competition just to get to the finals if they play in the West. LeBron James sleepwalks his way with a super team. We'll tell you how bad it was, right? The big 3 came together in the 2000s. And yet, they only won the conference one time, and I think they were together for 6 years. LeBron James and a bunch of nobodies exposing the weak era when they say he did all this with a bunch of nobodies in Cleveland the first time or any time is exposing how weak the league is because Michael Jordan wasn't doing nothing with a bunch of nobodies. He wasn't doing nothing. They was kicking his butt up and down the street. And he was putting up crazy numbers. He was like, well, I might as well put up crazy stats. I'm going to get whooped anyways. Go check it out. While the Pistons, the Lakers, the Celtics, these teams was getting off in the 80s. Getting all these good draft picks after they won championships or they came in second, runner-up, or they was getting good free agents. Mike won't get nothing. That should be a whole story in itself. While the dumb LeBron James fans always say, oh, well, Mike didn't beat nobody in the 90s. Mike didn't ever beat the Lakers. How could he? It would be like the equivalent of LeBron James. Right? In Cleveland, the first time, on that 06 team, 2006, or 2007, beating the 80s Lakers, the 80s Pistons, or the 80s, what was that, 80s Celtics, Lakers, or Pistons. Them teams were loaded. They were loaded, folks. And LeBron couldn't beat them. But it really ain't about that, folks. It's about what did you do when you had your turn. And Michael Jordan basically got his turn organically more than any other championship team. Especially the 91, 92, and 93 championship. It was the most organic championships in team of all time. And that's why when he won a championship, he said he couldn't believe it because, when he won the 3rd championship in a row, he couldn't believe it because he said it was so much parity in the league. Nobody really didn't have no fair advantage over nobody. Pippen wasn't really nothing at the time. He had made 2 All-Star teams. I think he made 2 All-NBA. It wasn't nothing big. Pippen wasn't take off into that stratosphere that people are talking about maybe until the 3rd championship in the season Jordan retired. And we saw what happened when Jordan retired. Pippen could only give you the same numbers. Pippen gave the Bulls basically the same numbers when Jordan retired. And guess what? He ended up getting Kukoc. Harper was there. Jordan didn't have Harper and Kukoc. So, I'm talking about the first time, the first 3P. We go on and on with this guy. But yeah, that's just for me. I don't say this guy's career is a big production. There's nothing real about it. We did a whole video about it. So I got the receipts about that. This guy ain't never been. It's a lot of guys that don't want to be the face of this league, man. Also, how can they make it a production if it's a real sports league? Well, you pretty much got to lower the bar. You got to start talking about how other, eras sucked. They weren't good. They couldn't shoot. They couldn't dribble. All this nonsense. The competition wasn't no good. You got to lower the bar for LeBron James. You got to do away with, get the rest of the guys to start building super teams. What else? It's a whole a myriad of things. Oh, you got to do away with real refs. You got to cancel out the rules. You can travel and you can carry, right? Because you could go play at the YMCA, the rec center, any kind of park and be playing basketball and be like, especially back in the day, oh man, you carry. That's a carry. That's a travel. You give me the ball, right? You just turn it over. Today, these dudes is dribbling shoulder high, making 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars. Palming every time they like LeBron James, every time he dribbles, puts his palm under the ball every time he dribbles. Not just him, everybody. And we told you, if the refs upheld the standard and called carry and travel and stiff arms on LeBron James coming through the lane, stiff arming people on the forehead, the mouth, the chest. Could you imagine back in the day, him coming down the lane in the 80s and 90s with a stiff arm? Dudes would just swing and knock this dude out. Boom! They won't wait for no ref. And while he laying on the floor knocked out, they'll be like, dude, what happened to your game? We're playing basketball. Where's your pull-up? Where's your just normal drive to the lane? Bill Lambert catch this dude with a two-piece. Oh, you want a stiff arm? Bloop, bloop. Knock him out right then and there. This ain't a basketball player, folks. And again, if the refs upheld the standard of what the basic rules of the game of basketball, then it would expose these guys aren't real NBA players. Furthermore, the public will be outraged. How are these guys making 10, 20 million, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars? And they can't even play basketball. So you're basically stealing from the fans. And I told people before, these ain't real NBA fans. These are people that want to see entertainment. If they were real NBA fans, this stuff would have been exposed a long time ago. So you guys tell me what you think, man. I don't want to hear no advice from Charlemagne the God. He ain't got no advice to give me. You gonna listen to Charlemagne? You got to be dumb. But that's what they do with their puppets. They drag them. They give them all this fame. Then they end up dragging them through the mud, and then they reward them after that. It's called public humiliation. Tell me what you think.